person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent.
We haven't liked each other business-wise for a long time.
Well, that's why it's only business. It was really, away from that, I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's a little fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it?
Another bombshell lawsuit just hit, and guess who's back in the hot seat? Jay-Z. His name popped up again after his connection to Diddy got exposed, and now things are getting real messy. 50 Cent isn't letting anyone slide if they're tied to Diddy, and he's dragging names left and right. And it's not just talk.
It was not in the closet. It was in front of you, and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards, or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. When I say people respond, how people respond to things matter. Like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, yo, nah, I spend $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this. And it's in it only because he's uncomfortable. You don't hear him talking about French. French was right there. Right? Why you get so quiet? You guys make me feel like I'm scared.
Well, no, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot.
No, they see this. You see this. They see this.
He said, see it.
Nah, you see this. They won't act like that. Oh, we got nothing to do with that. If we could just...
No!
This whole situation with Diddy is spiraling out of control so badly that his legal team is now begging the courts to delay his trial. For years. The latest indictment? It's wild. They're saying the number of victims connected to Diddy's alleged abuse could be in the hundreds. That's not just serious. That's next level insane. And just when it couldn't get worse, Cassie, announced she's testifying in court.
Close when he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, now Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop. Stop it, man. Just set that up. Look, obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. Guys may say to a girl, you know, like, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
What do you think's happening in the middle?
I don't know what's going on.
Wow,
because it was like, he was like, yo, you hot now. Now we got to hang out now. Like, you know, like hang out.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know, man. I'll take you shopping and I get you some flash and you can give me the hood. And I was looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm going to mess up the way. Certain things, they let it go by because it's Puff. He wasn't like in the closet. He was like in the hallway.
All these years, you being the only one calling this out.
No, I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They said you're a hater.
Yeah.
They said you're crazy.
You do this, yeah. And now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting.
We all know she's been quiet for a while, but when she talks, she's not going to hold back. So now everyone's watching all the celebs who've been cozy with Diddy over the years.
Funny, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. Yeah. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're going to keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence. Right.
We're about to break it all down and see who's really been riding with him.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
This guy. Wow. You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he didn't show up.
No, he has like 20 now.
But here's the kicker.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. After that, he got some shit. He's like drinking. His pictures with him like thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because
are from
he's
the
no
marriage.
longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
50 Cent might be Diddy's biggest nightmare right now. Forget the lawsuits for a sec. The way 50's been throwing spotlight on Diddy's past and dragging other celebs into the mix, that's made everything 10 times hotter.
Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave.
On a recent podcast, 50 brought up how Meek Mill was out here twinning and matching outfits with Diddy at a party.
Person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
Apparently, Diddy invited 50 to go shopping with him first. But 50 said no. He knew what kind of message Diddy was sending. Meek, he jumped at the chance, thinking it was his ticket to fame. But this ain't about outfits. It's about the hidden moves behind the scenes.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the but he won't you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names, just like with Jeffrey Epstein.
And Jay-Z, he's not slipping away from the drama either. His name keeps popping up, and people are watching closely. Jay-Z and Beyonce have been tight with Diddy for years. But now, that friendship is looking real shady. According to 50 Cent and some insiders close to Jay, their whole marriage might not even be real love. It's being called a straight-up business arrangement. That's right. People are saying Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy are all part of the same power circle. And that's exactly why Jay's name won't stop popping up in these scandals. Go back to 2010. Remember all the wild parties Diddy used to throw? Look at the guest list from back then. Everyone was out there claiming to be his best friend. Now, they're pretending like they barely even knew the guy. Busta Rhymes, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Usher. They all stayed close to Diddy for years, especially around 2018.
I'm going in. You better believe it. Shout at Dap Jam. We the best. You know what it is. It's 2010, baby. It's the takeover. I'm going in.
Happy New Year to the whole planet. God is the greatest. Real talk. And you know, I mean, if there's anything that somebody can say better than that, I'm all ears. But with that being said, continuous blessings to the whole entire universe.
That same year, something crazy went down at Trump's National Doral Golf Club in Miami. The place had to shut down because of a shooting incident. A man named Jonathan Dye came forward, claiming he was Diddy's sex slave and said he was being manipulated and controlled. That's a serious accusation that got swept under the rug. And it doesn't stop there.
Diddy and Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay, okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter, okay?
Right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Oh, hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
A brand new civil lawsuit just dropped, and it names Jay-Z, Beyonce, and LeBron James.
High-profile individuals, including Jacob Arabo, Jay-Z, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, and Beyonce Knowles Carter, are identified as witnesses due to their presence or knowledge of the events surrounding the freak-off orchestrated by defendant Diddy. Wow. And freak-off, of course, is something that we've heard many times before, both in Combs' criminal case and other civil cases, to describe these prolonged sexual episodes, usually with sex workers. But Manzaro is suing Sean Combs. He is suing a man named Eric Mejias. He is suing Brendan Paul, who's been described in another lawsuit as Sean Combs' drug mule, Emilio Estefan, who is married to pop superstar Gloria Estefan, and Adria English, who filed her own lawsuit against Sean Combs, claiming she too was a victim of sex trafficking. By the way, it's interesting he's not suing these other celebrities that I mentioned, like Jay-Z and Beyonce and Gloria Estefan, possibly because he doesn't believe their alleged liability amounted to a civil claim, but seems to want to call them as witnesses at a trial, although I have to imagine they will do everything in their power to quash any subpoena should this case progress, and we'll talk a little bit more about whether or not it will.
They're being accused of being at a Diddy party where a man was allegedly sexually assaulted and publicly humiliated. The victim, Joseph Zaro, says he was bugged, kidnapped, and even sexually mutilated, all as part of a twisted, organized setup run by Diddy and his inner circle back in 2015. This whole thing is blowing wide open. And as more victims step up, it's only a matter of time before every single person involved is held accountable.
The world we're in right now, it's really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes. I see the memes. I see them now. Some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny. But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all them memes. I can stop all of that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's. I ain't been nowhere near that man. I ain't did none of that stupid. So, whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil. but I haven't said that publicly. I just said y'all the first time. I usually don't respond to dumb stuff because it's like people. It's so many things people say, so much stuff, but. You know, that one, your memes was doing too much. Y'all was having me mad.
No more hiding behind fame. It ain't just rappers acting sketchy around Diddy. Some of Hollywood's biggest stars were deep in the mix, too.
When you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
You really heard that?
Well, yeah, I watched it on the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything I read?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Word on the street is that Will Smith and Jennifer Lopez were both getting real close with Diddy behind the scenes.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got shit in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
I took I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the drug to perform.
And let's be honest. Why else would Will suddenly speak out against Diddy after all this time?
So she can remember and possibly love me for that.
Did it work? Did it work?
What the this is, yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. Like, doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, this is the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. Well, I don't know why it's so hard for people
So
just
for people to
acknowledge
feel
weird
like
shit is
you
weird.
would have something or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too, this is people that are looking on the separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what does that mean?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, and when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip-hop culture could think that everybody in hip-hop culture is with that shit.
Those whispers about him and J-Lo being involved in Diddy's infamous parties.
You have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know
He did it.
you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it.
And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go to the 90s, and Keefe D said he paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
It's a little, like, you get the craziest accusations. You had TMZ created a docuseries. They went to Tubi, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
You're one of the first persons in entertainment to really call out people and kind of have that authority in that, to be able to call people out. I mean, which is pretty amazing. You're kind of, in some ways, draining the swamp of Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system of a peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing. I've had to be on my own from the beginning. So I don't necessarily have a responsibility to behave a certain way, according to them.
They've been floating around for years. Even Jimmy Kimmel threw some subtle shade about it on his show. And back then, Will stayed quiet. But now, he's finally speaking up. Probably because he knows his name might end up in those lawsuits real soon. While most celebs are dead silent, there's one man calling out the mess loud and clear. 50 Cent.
Netflix docuseries that you've been working on. Diddy do it?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle. You weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way he would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize the...
As much stuff has come, like when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. So I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy.
He's not holding back because, as he puts it, he's got nothing to hide. No skeletons, no freaky past, and definitely no ties to Diddy's wild party life. 50 made it clear. He didn't go to those parties because that scene. That just ain't him. And get this, another name that's been floating around is Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm sure that's probably not public information yet, but who's the person that's #1 on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are invited.
That is so generous of you. Cheers to that.
See you at the...
Yeah, when Leo's not chasing women half his age, folks are saying he's hitting up Diddy's secret parties too. That's the level of shady we're talking about. Now here's what's got everyone shaking. 50 is about to drop a docu-series. First announced in December 2023, it's coming out soon, and people are freaking out over what's going to be exposed. This ain't just gossip.
It's kind of interesting. I think that civil suit turned into a look. They looked at it like maybe it's a criminal situation.
Right.
A little early, and it could have been the same lobbyists and the same people that use their connections to make that happen for Puff.
Is that kind of why you was going hard on him the last couple years? Is it because of the liquor situation? Because, to be honest, since the situation he's in now, it's kind of like you fell back on him. Was this all over the liquor, or you just said?
Well, most of that was motivation. That was competing,
right?
For with brands, and they was ahead of me,
right?
Because he had been working on Ciroc and stuff like that, and then integrating it into our culture with Coco Loso and different things with different people connected to it. So yeah, that's what that was. But when you look at, he would do a lot of foul shit. Like behind the scenes, he would do some foul shit.
50 says the series will break down exactly how Diddy's whole operation worked and who helped him run it. Everyone who's ever been connected to Diddy, they're sweating bullets right now. Usher, Odell Beckham Jr., Terrence Howard, and even Justin Bieber. Yeah, they just got dragged into the Diddy drama too. And it's not just rumors anymore. These names keep coming up and people are starting to connect the dots. Then there's Orlando Brown, the dude Hollywood tried to label as crazy. But turns out he might have been spilling way more truth than anyone was ready for.
And that's what they f***ed up at. You can tell me Pup going away for a long time, bro, but do you not hear the of Meek Mill? Do you not hear all of the shake it off, take that, of Will Smith?
He's been calling out celebs he claims are secretly living double lives in the industry.
Can you not give me the, oh God, of TD Jakes? I just don't want to be in the room where niggas be actually doing this shit, man, because that's crazy for a real Crip to pull up and be like, yo, my nigga, like, check this out. Like, I really heard Carl Winslow in there. Like, yo, I was like, yo, getting slapped like that. Slap. Who is he begging this out like a...
50 Cent's been saying it for a while. A lot of these guys are what's known in the industry as gay for pay.
Next thing you know, he walk in there, and it's actually my mother.
Is Diddy a dangerous man?
Nah, you missed the fact that was my mom. Like, that was Jaguar Wright getting... It's Carl Winslow,
Terrence Howard even described it like this: giving up your masculinity just to chase fame.
I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is?
And now, some of these men are haunted by the choices they made.
I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did. No matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does.
They gave up their integrity for a shot at the spotlight. And now they're stuck with the damage.
The women that trade their bodies to go and get the role. They get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is?
Things got even messier after a new amended civil lawsuit was filed, this time naming Odell Beckham Jr. and someone named Driss Key. The accusation? That they were involved in the assault of a woman Diddy allegedly wanted revenge on.
Were you at any of the Diddy parties, or did you miss that?
What the? Where did that come from? How did that? Of all questions.
Or did you miss that train?
How did that go?
That train might have left the
that
station,
train took
but
off
you
from
were
the
right
station.
there.
Yeah,
You were
that train,
right there to
that
get on
train
that.
took off from the station for sure.
You were close.
Yeah. I wasn't at that train station.
You left early? You left early?
No, that was down the street from me. I wasn't there. No.
Did you ever meet Diddy?
Yo, what the
Bro, yo, I forgot you
He's
actually
like, yo,
might have.
I've seen pictures with you there.
It's a heavy claim, and Odell's not staying quiet.
Here's a little bit more about what we know of Dr. Dawn Hughes. So it's in an exhibit that was filed in this case, and it's called Disclosure as to Expert Witness Dawn M. Hughes, PhD, ABPP. Dr. Hughes is a clinical psychologist and a board-certified forensic psychologist, and a leading expert on sexual abuse, interpersonal violence, victimization, and traumatic stress. The following includes the anticipated opinions the government expects Dr. Hughes will offer regarding sexual abuse and victim responses to sexual abuse, coercive control, coping strategies during and in relation to sexual abuse, delayed disclosure, and memory of sexual abuse. Quote, the government expects that Dr. Hughes will testify about coercive control as a tactic of victimization, i.e. the state to process of becoming a victim, and a strategy to gain dominance across a spectrum of relationships. Coercive control often includes a variety of physical, sexual, and/or emotional tactics that together function to control the victim.
He fired back with a post on X, formerly Twitter, saying, "This allegation is a fabricated lie. I wasn't a public figure in 2018. I was broke, living with my mom, with no entertainment connections. The inclusion of my name is outlandish. My heart breaks for real victims, but I trust the truth will come out and expose this nonsense." But what's really wild? Diddy's lawyers are now trying to block expert witnesses from testifying at his trial.
The allegations implicate dozens of unidentified witnesses and allege co-conspirators around the world, and some of the key witnesses to the supposed incidents are dead, basically meaning how can we defend against it? The defense is not even permitted to share the identities of the individuals described in the disclosure letter with Mr. Combs until April 18th, further hampering defense counsel's ability to investigate. Collectively, these new allegations require many months, if not years, to investigate, and if admitted, would require a series of mini-trials certain to double the length of a trial the government originally said would last 3 weeks. So this is an explosive allegation that on its face, I don't know if I necessarily disagree with. If they are bringing in evidence of uncharged conduct, wouldn't the defense have an opportunity to investigate it and challenge it? It seems like they're making a point. So if this evidence is allowed in, there is a chance this could delay the trial significantly. We all know Combs wants to go to trial, but how can he properly defend himself against this in just a few weeks?
Prosecutors want Dr. Dawn Hughes to speak. She's expected to help explain how trauma affects the victims stepping up to the stand. And here's where it gets even darker. New evidence just landed, tied directly to Diddy's civil cases. The documents are redacted, but legal insiders are whispering that this could involve Diddy's alleged behavior with minors. This is no longer just about shady parties. This could blow the case wide open. All of this is painting a clear picture.
All right, Cassie. She plans to testify against Diddy at the trial, and she's going to use her name. So a lot of the women who have accused Diddy are anonymous. They're Jane Doe or Victim 1
or John Doe's.
Or John Doe's. But Cassie allegedly, apparently, is going to take the stand and talk about her obviously, that tape of him beating her up at the hotel is what set off this whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, this has just made it matters so bad for Diddy. So now that she is gonna sit up there and like look him square in the eyes and talk about her side of the story. That's not great for Diddy, obviously.
There's a pattern behind Diddy's alleged abuse, and it's getting harder and harder to ignore. With over 36 lawsuits stacking up and even video footage showing him putting hands on Cassie, the walls are closing in fast. It's looking like it's only a matter of time before he ends up behind bars. Speaking of Cassie, it's now been confirmed that she'll be taking the stand.
No, and like I think also Cassie is a celebrity, right? Like millennials know who she was or is. She had like a booming career back in the day. So I think it also adds some extra zhuzh when you have like a well-known public figure coming forward.
Trusted public figure.
Trusted and beloved
Yeah.
too. So I think that also will hurt him. She of course became public. All of this went public when that video came out from CNN. So it's been revealed who she is already, and now she is not looking to conceal her name. She wants to, you know, put it all out on the table. And yeah, yikes, it could be really bad for him.
Yes, the government is officially calling her to testify. Cassie was right there behind the scenes, watching how Diddy ran everything. And what she knows? It's going to be impossible for him to explain it all away. Like Gene Deal said, Cassie's civil lawsuit is what cracked this whole thing wide open and kicked off the criminal charges. Now with 50 Cent stepping in, things are getting even more explosive. Whether you think he's brave or just bold enough to go there, one thing's for sure. 50's upcoming docuseries, Did He Do It?, is about to change the game. He's not pulling punches, and he's got the receipts. So don't blink. This story is far from done. If you're keeping up with this chaos, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a single update. Share this with your friends too, because this might just be the biggest celebrity scandal of our time. See you on the next one.